Hi, welcome to Chad's Silversmithing. So I'm going to make a slight change to my lineup this year of videos. Each week I'm going to try, at least I'm going to give this a shot at the beginning and see if people like it or not. Each week I'm going to do a little bit shorter video for one of the videos where I'm talking about kind of a quick tip on things to make your process easier or better, or just some things that I've learned along the way. And so I'd like your input on whether you enjoy this or not, and whether you think this is a good idea. I need to thank some people before we get started on this one. I want to thank my patrons over on Patreon. They're my core group of supporters. They have created this lovely environment over there where they share ideas and talk to each other about resources, and we all kind of show each other what we're working on. It's a nice place. They financially support me, and they created this great environment over there. I have two new patrons, Stacy F. and Angie M. Thank you for signing up. I really appreciate your support. I know that you'll find a helpful and nice group of people over there, so enjoy getting to become part of that community. The other group are my YouTube subscribers, and I wanted to thank them as well. We just passed 25,800, which is awesome. But thank you for being such a good audience. I really do appreciate it, and I look forward to many more years of interacting with you all. Thank you also for the financial support. The Buy Me Coffees, a super thanks, the merch purchases, and my ebooks, of which there will be a new one shortly. All of that stuff makes my channel sustainable, and I couldn't do it without your help, so thank you for that. All right, well, let's talk about polishing pliers. So this is one of my design idea sketchbooks that you can get on my merch store. This particular one has information about solder melting temperatures and flow temperatures. The real feature I like about these is the dot matrix in the background. It helps me to draw better pictures when I'm drawing up my ideas. And it's nice to have a record of what you've made and how you made it. I usually put the different kinds of wire stock and sheet stock that I used for that particular project, so I can go back and look at it in the future. And I filled up, I don't know, 4 of these now, maybe 5. And so it's a nice place to keep track of your projects as well. Today's sort of fast tip is on polishing your pliers, because one of the things that I do when I'm setting a stone, I use my chain nose pliers as a bezel pusher, where I'm using this flat side here to push this in like that, and then work that bezel up against the stone. And then at the end I use this side of it here, the rounded outer part, as a burnishing tool. And when you buy pliers, generally they don't have that smooth of a surface on them, and so you'll scratch up your bezel if you try and do that. And so I thought I'd show you the process I use to get these pretty shiny and smooth. These are the ones I generally use, and they're due for kind of a polish up. When you get them, let me see if I don't think this one's ever been polished, and you can see, well, hopefully you can see it's got big scratch marks in it and stuff like that. And so I like to get it nice and smooth. You're less likely to scratch your stone or your bezel if it's a nice shiny smooth surface. So we'll start with a little bit of 600 grit sandpaper, and I'm just going to, the two parts I usually polish, I like to have one flat side, like I said, for the bezel pushing kind of part, and I like to have a nice smooth, probably this one here, that's already been polished a few times, to be the burnishing area. So let's do some sanding on this and this here. So you can take as long as you want doing this to get as neat a job as you want it to be. So the more time you spend on it, probably the smoother it's going to be. I usually follow this by one of these knife edge white abrasive silicone wheels. The white ones are the coarsest ones, and that'll get rid of any last like dings and stuff. Hopefully, I'm going to try anyway. So I'll do some of it on camera, but it's hard to hold it in frame when I'm doing this, so I might do a lot of it out of camera. So. I'm going to switch to a different polishing wheel now, the kind of blue fine wheel, which is think second to the finest that they make in these. So we're just going to do the same thing again. I'm going to switch over to some white diamond polishing compound on a felt wheel. Not sure if you can see the difference yet, but it's starting to look like chrome almost. So I'm going to do one last polish on my actual polishing wheel with some ZAM to really try and get it as good as possible, and then we'll come back and take a look at it. Alright, well that's after doing it on the polishing wheel with some ZAM. That came out pretty darn nice, and I'm pleased. That'll last me for a while being all shiny like that before I have to do it again. It struck me while I was doing this that for this series, one of the things we might talk about is a topic that comes up once in a while is making your own tools or modifying your tools to suit your needs, because over the years a few times I've had to make my own tool for a particular purpose, and sometimes it's a good brain activity, I think, to try and problem solve. How can I make this item that I need without spending a lot of money? So that's kind of a cool topic too. So if you have any suggestions or any ideas about that, let me know. I'd love to hear what you have to say. So, okay, well, let me know if you found that valuable or not, and we'll go from there. Okay, well, that was just a little about my process for getting my pliers really shiny and smooth, which I find useful when I'm, especially when I'm setting stone, since I do it a little unconventionally. If you did find that useful, make sure to hit the like button, and I'd love it if you'd visit my main channel page. I have tons of videos over there. I have 660 some, or 670 maybe by now. There's lots of different content about jewelry making, specifically silver work with some copper and brass and other things in there. There's lots of different skill levels, I think, so no matter what level you're at, you'll probably find some useful information over there. And definitely lots of projects if you are looking for ideas for projects. So check that out. Please subscribe to my channel. It doesn't cost anything, and I'd love to have you following me. So the other thing is, check out the video description down below. There's some important links there. There's a link to my merch store if you want to get yourself one of those nice design idea sketchbooks I talked about, or some other merch. There's a lot of pretty stuff there. Some mugs and some t-shirts with funny silversmithing related sayings on them and stuff. So get yourself a few of those presents. And there's a link to my Patreon if you want to find out more about that community. It has multiple tiers of membership, lowest being Tier 1, where you get the videos without the YouTube advertisements, which is nice. The other tiers above that have additional privileges like live streams and Patreon exclusive videos. So check it out. Maybe you'd like to become part of that community too. And finally, there's a link to my ebooks. The most recent one having been 2024's. We should have 2025's done shortly after the first of the year. And they are guides to all of the tutorials I did in that particular year. So there's additional information about each one with a link to the video. So it's a nice way to have a whole bunch of projects right at your fingertips, and a super nice way to support my channel. So I appreciate it in advance when you guys buy those things. So there will be a package deal as well for multiple ones. Like if you want to get all three of them, they'll be a little bit off for getting the whole package deal. All right, well, thanks for watching today. Take care. Happy silversmithing.